one of the most meaningful 10 minutes of my whole life, dude. I'm walking through the high bay, and one of the guys bumps me. He's like, hey, new platoon chief's in the high bay. I was like, oh, shit. And I throw open that door, and he's standing probably 20 feet back, dead center of this high bay. He's got his camis on, and, you know, hair is short, but it's kind of combed over, and you can't see tattoos. You can't see anything. He just looks like a normal dude.
Mm-hmm.
And there was an aura radiating off this dude that it was like a magnet. It pulled me straight into him. I didn't shake his hand. I didn't fist bump him. I fucking hugged him. I did. Ask him. I hugged him. And I was like, I've been waiting my whole fucking life for you, dude. Thank you so much for being here. And right after I hugged him, he kind of leaned back. He's like, you must be DJ. I am. He's like, I've been waiting for you too. Went upstairs, introduced him to the boys, and everything that left his mouth was what I needed to hear. His focus, the hunting of man, being evil, doing evil deeds to evil people, everything he said. You know, he'd drop out these little one-liners that we'd be doing CQB, and he'd whisper it, stay evil. Stay evil? And he's like, we're hunting humans, stay evil. Okay. All these little mindset, little switches he would start to drop. And then you'd get him on the flat range, and he would burn down everybody. At that level, you know, for guys that aren't in the military that don't know, when you get to be that senior, you're not supposed to be the best dude. Because now you're managing people. You're
Right.
not supposed to be the best in a house. Like, I'm supposed to be the best in a house, and he's running circles around my ass. He can process information so much faster. His presentations, his dynamic nature, everything he's doing is so well done. You can't ignore it. You just see him, you're like, holy shit. And he came out, takes his shirt off, he's in shape, he's in the gym, he's pushing the mindset, he's covered in tattoos, and he is just fostering this culture that I am just spoon-feeding, dude. And it was really my first time, you know, inside of those 8 years where I had the role model, the one I've been looking for this entire time. And once you get him, what do? Fucking mirror him, dude. Whatever he's doing, whatever he's drinking, whatever he's eating, whatever his fitness routine is, just adopt it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's what you want to be like. He's giving you the roadmap. Just jump on the same path and chase his ass to the inline. That's it. Just keep going. Whatever he's doing, just do it. I don't know how to make this any better, but he's better than me. I'm just going to do what he does, and that'll get me better. And by God, if it didn't, dude. He came in and he'd look at the way they put out CQB and our tactics and our SOPs, and he'd come back and he'd just rewrite the whole thing. He's like, we ain't doing that. We're not? And he's like, no. And he'd explain it in such a way, and I think that was like my first intro to knowledge transfer, is he could explain the why so crystal clear. You can't ignore it. He'd just say it. He's like, would you really do that? Like, knowing there's a guy in the room? I was like, oh, no, I don't want to. And he's like, exactly. You have to do what you would really do. You're a human being. You're a physical vessel. You know, navigating through time and space. You have kids. You have wives. Like, we all have these things. Like, those intangibles can't be ignored. We have to live like we're human beings that can live and die like that. And it just made sense. And, you know, we started jumping more. And we started flying in the wind tunnel. Just everything we did, he was the best at. It's like, how are you so good at all this?
Mm-hmm.
And he said it. He's like, because I live it. It's the only thing I have. And he'd say it, and I kind of adopted it. And, you know, I won't point the blame at him, but I kind of will. He's like, I sacrifice everything for this. Sacrifice my marriage, my relationship with my kids, because the job and the profession deserve it. And when I'm retired, when I'm done, I'll go back and I'll be a full-time husband or father. But right now, this deserves every ounce of my full attention. And he was right. And as soon as I did that, it was like I unlocked level 2. You just had to have somebody who had walked the path before to show you, just to flick your switch. And now I talk about dials, but it was literally a flick of the switch. I can't be doing this anymore. I have to be leaned in. I have to be focused all the way. And we started gearing up for that workup. And the moment he dropped in, it was like everybody elevated 10 notches. As soon as he came in, it was like, you talk about like the energy.
Mm-hmm.
Like one person can control the entire temperature of the room. So we're not being a thermostat. We're not bouncing off. We're not bouncing off the temperature control.
Yeah.
We're a thermostat. We're controlling it. And that's what he was. He was a thermostat, man. And it was a pleasure to watch him work. And, you know, we got through that. We got on a really good target set. You know, we're geared back up to go to Iraq. We've got all the funding. We've got a Ranger element attached to us. I mean, CAG's in the same camp. 2 SAS is in the same camp. And it's like, okay, dude, here we go. We start spinning up. We finally get overseas, and it has all the makings to be the best deployment you could ever want to do. All the assets, strikers, helos, CV-22s, I mean, the Ranger blocking force, and we were just going out every other night. And sorry to say this, but the Rangers fucked us, even though I love them. And it ain't their fault. It's part of politics, man. But we were basically, I don't know, 20, 30 days into this thing. We've been banging them out back and forth. And they go out on a raid. We were kind of flip-flopping back and forth. We'd go out, they'd do cordon for us. They'd go out and we'd be QRF for them, kind of back and forth. And they go out and they hit a target. Rightfully so. When there's a bad dude with a gun, they shoot him. And it turns out to be some Sheikh's son-in-law or the Sheikh's son. And he goes ballistic.
That can't be good.
Can't be good. And they shut us down. And they shut us down for a week. He's like, hey, nobody's going out for a week. This thing's getting really political. Like, we've got to slow down. Well, that week turned into 2 weeks. But it was every single day. We'd come in for the first brief. He's like, hey, we should be good to go tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll be lifted. We'll be going out. So we're looking at all these targets. We're planning. We're doing all the route studies. We're doing everything. He's like, tomorrow. And for a young, 22-year-old kid, whatever I was, that was a very hard thing for me to stomach. Even though I'd been around for a little bit, the new guys getting apprehensive, all the old guys, like, we're starting to lose motivation. We're like, what in the fuck is happening? Like, what do you mean? And then it went from tomorrow to next Friday. Manny, we did that for 90 consecutive days.
They put you on ice.
Nothing for 90 days.
Jeez. Bro. And for you guys with your tempo, that's got to be an eternity.
Bro, you were just dragging this beautiful broadsword you've made for the last 10 years, and you're just dragging on its blade down that shitty concrete to the chow hall. Flip it over, drag it back. Flip it over, drag it back, just dulling your blade every day. So we did that for 90 days, and probably about the 40 to 50 day mark, Barrett essentially had enough, and he's like, okay, fuck this. Like, we're going to start training. We had some little CQB house we had on there, so we do CQB straight into flat range. We basically made it part of our workup cycle. So we'd all wake up in the morning, we'd all lift, we'd go to the kill house, do a couple hours there, we'd hit the flat range, we'd come back, we'd watch movies over and over and over. So at least now we're not stagnant. At least now we're still polishing. And around the 90-day mark, Barrett comes in with staff and our troop commander, and he's like, fellas, we're over this shit. They're not going to let us work here. We're going to be stuck here for a long time. We're going to lift and shift this entire thing. We're going to throw it on the flatbeds, and we're going to jump in strikers, and we're going to drive to Bakuba, to Fob Warhorse.
How far was that?
I don't remember off the top of my head. A couple hours maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And we pull up in there, and we actually took over a base that the command used to have. And, you pull in this compound, you're seeing all the huts, and because I'd grown up in the teams, a lot of the guys that had died before, you see the deployment pictures, and it's in that camp. Like, they're around that fire pit. That's their gym. Mm-hmm. And now we're inside of the same thing. So it felt like home. Like, you're sleeping in guys' beds and all that kind of stuff. And it was super cool, and we got on a really good target set and really started to pick up momentum and going out every night. And, it really got to show you all the assets. And, for me, it was everything I ever wanted. It wasn't ultra kinetic every single night, but because of Barrett and the meticulous nature and the way we were doing the targets, I probably learned more on that deployment than I have on any other one, because I was just spoon feeding everything he was saying, and it really put me on my ass for a little bit. Like, if I never would have met him, if he never would have came in here, where would I be? And I look back at it now, like, if he never would have walked in at high bay, and we would have kept with the original two dudes, where would I be at right now? Probably not sitting here. Like, he truly changed my life. He changed my entire perspective on everything.